Recent data from a fintech company CompariSure suggests that a staggering 52% of South Africans don't want to take the vaccine. When asked why, 34% cited side effects as their main concern. Other commonly stated reasons for rejecting the jab include religion and costs. Well, let's take a look at the results of the survey. Matt Kloos is the co-founder and CFO of CompariSure. Matt, good evening and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, with a study such as this, of course, we're seeing quite a number of them coming out. Some of them are studies, some, more quantitative research. Tell us a bit more about just perhaps the context under which you've conducted yours.
Good evening, Kathy. Thank you for having me on the show. Yes, for sure. So we conducted our study using our proprietary chatbot technology where we engaged with South Africans of all walks of life across social media. We had young, old, male, female, educated, the slightly less educated, and as you say, a staggering 52% of people unwilling to take the vaccine.
What were you asking them, Matt?
We asked them a range of questions, some of them around the lockdown, how they feel about that, how it's impacted them. And then we asked them directly, are you willing to take the vaccine when it becomes available? At first, the results were quite shocking, but when you look at some of the scary, things doing the rounds on social media, the conspiracy theories, you start to see why people might be hesitant.
And, just to dig a little bit further in terms of the reasonings for why people won't take the vaccine, what were you able to uncover there?
So as you said, some reasons, understandable. People perhaps thinking there'd be side effects to the vaccine, thinking, they have a fear of needles. That was one that came up. But then some outrageous ones as well. People saying they're worried the government's going to implant a chip in them. So some of those, those are quite worrying. But I think, as people see the efficiency of the vaccine, as they see other nations globally using it, taking it, getting the pandemic under control, I really hope that the sentiment changes in South Africa.
What else were you able to discover through your research?
One of the things that we found was quite interesting is that there's a definite mix of people, sort of three groups who are vaccine hesitant. One, people who are sort of just unsure, they don't have enough detail and they're hesitant. Secondly, there was a group that are just misinformed, they don't have the right information. And then the third group, they're deliberately anti-vaccine, and it's the smallest group, and I think that group that often spread fake news, that spread sort of rumors that aren't true. But I think it's going to be a long journey sort of ahead of us as a country in terms of getting out of this pandemic.
Will you be conducting this the survey again? Because the reality is that as more information becomes available, perceptions could well change.
Definitely. We'll be conducting this on an ongoing basis to track the sentiment and how that changes. We'll also be doing our bit to sort of educate people, to try and help people make an educated decision. I think it's not easy to inform people. It's not. I don't think people will change their opinion by seeing a simple billboard or an ad. So I think it's up to you, me, civil society, government, private sector. Everyone needs to play their part, educate people so that they can make an informed decision and, in my opinion, take the vaccine.
Matt Kloos, he's the co-founder and CFO of CompariSure. Thanks for your time on News at Prime tonight.